Forgot to do that. Check. Yep. Good.
All righty, it is 5:02 p.m. and I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. All righty, we'll do a quick roll call. Mr. Barton?
Here.
Mr. Freshour?
Here.
Dr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Chapman?
Present.
Dr. Manning?
Here.
Good to go. All right, if everybody will join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, we'll begin with expulsion hearing number 1. Judy, you have the option to have an open or a closed hearing. And basically that's with the open session, we won't go into executive session. With the closed session, we will go into executive session, and that's your choice, and you can tell me whatever you'd like. Okay.
And
All right.
the public can hear and listen if, okay.
Yeah. The public can hear and listen. They want an open session.
And just to let you know, it's live streamed. Okay.
All righty. We will continue in the open meeting format. All righty. Okay, sorry. All righty. Would the parties please identify themselves for the record, starting with the administration's representative?
Nisha Butcher, Gilmer County High School.
Okay. All righty. Let's go ahead. Board members. Start with Mr. Barton.
Larry Barton.
Dustin Freshour.
Hillary Miller.
Cody Moore.
Brett Chapman.
Tony Minnie.
Lisa Moore.
State your name. Yep. All righty. Let's see.
And just a little quick update, we need to make sure that we use the student identification number instead of a name, since we are live streaming this.
Okay. We will proceed in the following order. The administration will be asked to give an open statement about the charges against the student. Then the parent will be asked to give an opening statement about the charges against the student. Generally, for an opening statement, the parents will state whether the student is guilty or innocent of the charges, and then will give the board any explanation or any other information that they desire. Next, the administration will present its witnesses and any other evidence. After the administration finishes questioning each witness, the parent may ask the witness any questions that they have about his or her testimony and the charges against the student. Board members may, but are in no way required to ask questions of each witness. Then the parent may present his or her witnesses and any other evidence that they have. All testimony shall be taken under oath and recorded by mechanical means. The rules of evidence shall not apply. The standard of proof is a preponderance of the evidence, which means more than likely not. All relevant evidence, including any hearsay, may be omitted. If there is any objection to a question or to the introduction of a piece of evidence, you must state objection and explain your objection briefly. I, as the presiding officer, shall rule on all objections before the hearing will continue. However, any board member may demand that any ruling of the presiding officer be put to a vote of the entire board. And in that case, the vote of the board will be the final ruling on the objection. Are there any questions or any other preliminary matters that we need to attend to before the hearing begins? Okay, hearing none. At this time, I'll go ahead and swear in the witnesses. We'll start with the administration representative. Mrs. Butcher, do you swear to or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Ms. Smith, if you'll just stand for me. Do you swear to tell the truth? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All righty. We'll begin the opening statements, and we will start with the administration. Mrs. Butcher.
Thank you. Mr. Moore, Board of Education, I am formally requesting that student E001 be expelled from Gilmer County High School because he has violated West Virginia Department of Education Policy 4373. He has committed an act that is a level 4 offense. This student had in his possession and admitted to using and being under the influence of synthetic THC in the form of a vape. Policy 4373 states that a student will not unlawfully possess, use, be under the influence of, distribute, or sell any substance containing alcohol, over-the-counter drugs, prescription drugs, marijuana, narcotics, or any other substance included in the Uniform Controlled Substances Act. The school met with Mr. and Mrs. Smith in Mr. Payne's office, and it was explained that this student, E001, was being suspended for 10 days, and that they would be receiving a certified letter, the parents would be receiving a certified letter notifying them of the 10 days of suspension and the time of the disciplinary hearing.
Thank you, Mrs. Butcher. At this time, we'll allow the parent to begin their opening statement. And you can sit there, you can come up to the mic too if we can't necessarily hear you.
He's a good kid, but he made a done wrong decision. I mean, I got him, he's gone this far. I mean, I know he's gonna be expulsion from school, but I would like to at least get him into the ALC, homebound or something to finish getting his, it's his senior year to finish getting his high school diploma.
Sure. Do you have any other opening statement? Ready? We will proceed to witnesses. Does the administration have any witness they need to call?
No, but I do have information that I can relay.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
Mr. Payne could not be here, but the teacher that the student whose class he was in, Mrs. Hickman, notified Mr. Payne by email that student E001 had admitted to using the THC vape before class because she noticed his actions and his face. Mrs. Hickman pulled him into the hallway and talked with him. Mr. Payne went to Mrs. Hickman's classroom, and retrieved this student and brought him to the office. The school nurse, Ms. Ferguson, checked E001's vital signs, and this student had a heart rate that was elevated. His pupils were unequal, according to the nurse. She did contact the parents for Mr. Payne while he talked with the student. The superintendent was notified, and Mr. Payne met with both of E001's parents when they arrived. I was also in the meeting as well. And so this is a violation of Level 4, Safe Schools Behavior Act. Safe Schools Act behavior is consistent with those addressed in West Virginia Codes 18A-5-1, subsections A and B. And following this Level 4 behavior, definitions are aligned with West Virginia Codes 61-6-17, 61-6-24, and 18A-5-1 in the Gun-Free Schools Act of 1994. And these these laws require that the principal, superintendent, county board address the Level 4 behaviors in a specific manner as outlined in West Virginia Code 18A-5-1A.
Thank you, Mrs. Butcher.
Are we allowed to ask questions?
You have a question? Sure.
Did they find a vape on him? Did they search him and find a vape?
We have a vape.
You did find one on him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there was-
I missed that. I'm sorry.
There was a vape on him,
Okay.
and actually, it was given to law enforcement, it was given to city police officer Eastep.
Okay.
It was something that was called juicy something.
Kush.
But it was a vape.
Juicy.
Okay.
Did they test it?
Yes.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, hearing none. All right, we will proceed. Does the parent have any witnesses that she would like to call? Okay, she has none. All righty, then move us into closing arguments. Does the administration have a closing argument?
We recommend that this student be expelled from Gilmer County High School, as much as I regret it. But I think it has to be done.
Does the parent have a closing statement?
I just like to see if I can get him in the ALC or homeroom. Not them just 8 months left of school.
Sure, sure. Yep. After we get through this, I'm sure the superintendent will give us a recommendation and we'll get you some, guidance. All righty. So that ends closing statements. All righty. We are to deliberations. We can go to executive session if the board would like, or we can hear the superintendent's recommendation.
One more question.
Okay, sir.
How old is the student? Like 17, 18, where are we at? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Do I hear any motion to go to executive session? Hearing none, then Dr. Benning, can you proceed with your recommendation?
Yes, I recommend that the Board of Education during this hearing process expel student E001 for 2 consecutive semesters and place the student in the ALC after-school program at Gilmer Calhoun Gilmer Career Center. I also recommend creating a review of the student's discipline, attendance, and academic record at the end of the second 9 weeks and make a determination if the superintendent can lessen that expulsion placement to be based at a county level ALC program. That would be based on the student's GPA, chronically absent rate, and if they have no further discipline actions. I make that recommendation because that student is very close to graduation, and we want to make sure that those things are completed and that student's on track to graduate on time. And either way, he would be in an ALC placement, but we want to make sure that the student's successful with graduation. Also recommend that a meeting be set up between the high school administration and Calhoun Gilmer Career Center administration with a letter written with the results of this and the minutes sent to all those parties to relay that information and get the placement for student E001 to start in his educational process there.
Make a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendation.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation for student E001. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All righty. At this time, do I have a motion to adjourn? Well, I don't want to adjourn yet, no.
No,
The
you-
recess.
recess.
Yeah, I motion to recess, excuse me.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
all righty. It's been properly moved and seconded to recess for 5 minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, we're live, Cody.
At this time, do I hear a motion to reconvene from recess?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and second. We reconvene from a 5-minute recess. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All righty. Okay, who's the parent of the student? Okay, all right, you guys have the option to have an open or a closed hearing. Basically, with an open hearing, the public is allowed to hear the session on the live stream. If you go to a closed session, we'll go into executive session. The stream will be shut off, and only the people in this room will be able to hear the whole session or hear the proceedings as it goes on. And that's your all's option. So you let me know what you'd like to do. Okay. All right. Do I have a motion or can I have a motion to convene an executive session for this student discipline
So
hearing?
moved.
I move pursuant to 6-943 of the West Virginia Code that the board go into executive session to decide upon disciplining, suspension, or expulsion of any student in any public school or public college or university unless the student requests an open meeting.
Second.
Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded to go into executive session per West Virginia Code 6-9A-4B subsection 3 to convene this student discipline hearing. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion?
Yep.
Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Lisa, if you'll go.